The Israeli military appears to be in its final stages of preparations for a full-scale ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. But the timing of that offensive remains unclear. Here's Charlie D'Agata.
The Israeli military resumed its ferocious bombardment of Gaza after the briefest of breaks during President Biden's visit here yesterday. Gaza's health ministry says the death toll has soared to nearly 4,000, if it hasn't topped that already, as they count the bodies recovered by the moment. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled to escape the aerial onslaught and find food and shelter ahead of Israel's anticipated ground offensive. Trucks carrying aid lined up in a traffic jam on Egypt's side of the border with Gaza may be ready to roll after a UN-brokered deal to allow 20 trucks to cross into Gaza. But international aid agencies say that doesn't come close to meeting the needs of more than 1 million people displaced within Gaza, nearly half the territory's population. Across to the other Palestinian territory of the West Bank, Israeli army video appears to show a rare Israeli drone strike on a suspected Palestinian gunman following clashes there. Turning north of the country, another flashpoint. Israeli tanks opened fire toward Lebanon after Iranian-backed Hezbollah fired at least 20 rockets and an anti-tank missile into Israeli territory. In Egypt, the president calling for a rare day of protest, adding to pro-Palestinian demonstrations across the region in anticipation of Israel's expected move on Gaza. Jihadist leaders calling for able-bodied men to make their way towards Israel, like those boarding buses in Iraq, others calling for attacks on all U.S. bases in the region. Near the Gaza border, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rallying forces. "We're going to win with full force," he shouts to soldiers. "Are you ready?" Yes, they shout back. Today, we visited a military base in the middle of the desert, where we watched troops, part of a 300,000-strong reserve force, reporting for duty, carrying out close-quarter combat training. It's not just the sheer number of reservists who have been called up, but the range in age and experience. Everybody has to be ready to fight, and soon. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Jeff.
I think this is a beautiful aspect of Israel you see, where you see people from all ages, you see from all various situations in life coming and united over here with a strong will to protect our country.
That strong will is sure to be tested in the days and weeks ahead as Israeli forces engage in a battle that threatens to spread far beyond the narrow territory of the Gaza Strip.
And Charlie joins us now from Tel Aviv. Charlie, I want to ask you more about that visit to the IDF training base. Talk more about what you saw there. Did anything in particular stand out?
Yeah, Jeff, you know, it wasn't as much what we saw inside that sprawling military base than what we saw outside. And we saw thousands upon thousands of cars. And I make that point because people were just arriving, as they have been arriving for the past week and a half or so, and just parking up in the desert, parking up in the medians, getting out of their cars. These are all reservists. You know, they've got their uniforms. In some cases, they've still got their weapons. They may be a little bit rusty. People from 18 to 50 have been called up, some of them a little bit older than that, who may not be in the fighting forces, helping out in other ways, but they were just arriving, you know, by the minute, even busloads of people, families saying goodbye to one another. It was very tearful, very emotional, but just the sheer number of people that were arriving there. And then inside the base, of course, what we saw is military exercises. So they have to go through, and they do this, you know, repeatedly throughout the course of their service here anyway. Everybody here has to serve at a certain time, usually around 18 to 21 years old. So they're pressed into service anyway. So these reservists will have had military training. Some of them maintain the professional soldiering. They become service members. But the reservists are here to fight, to help out in any way they can, and they need to have these refresher courses. So what we saw there was, you know, urban combat, urban warfare. Those were live fire exercises that you saw there. really just trying to sharpen the tools before they go in. And as we spoke to some of the commanders, they said the training here is about getting the younger or more experienced professional soldiers and some of the reservists and putting together these platoons for the fight that's ahead.
Charlie, did the commander say anything more to you about, I know that Israel's defense minister told troops to be ready. There was this quote, be ready to see Gaza from inside. Did the commander you spoke with say anything more about that?
Well, you know, we've spoken to several commanders, and nobody wants to give anything away. There may not even be an impression that they have been told their marching orders, as it were. But what they are preparing for, remember, you know, Gaza, it's about 7 miles across, 25 miles long. There are other ways to attack it by land, sea, and air. So what they're really concerned about, he told us, is the tunneling system. There are something like more than 300 miles, if according to Hamas anyway, 300 miles of these underground tunnels. It's only accessible by certain areas. One of the commanders we spoke to yesterday, a former major general, said, we know we're going to be dealing with urban combat, but in most situations, they're rolling in tanks. And you think, well, where would you have tanks in urban combat? They said, we're going to roll tanks over flattened areas to go after Hamas. The big difficulty is among the civilians. Jeff?
Okay, Charlie Daggett, thanks very much.